Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We're alive again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. I am so happy to be here. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm so happy that you all are here with me. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. We are rolling to Cape Town for the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. That is May 25th through April 2nd. May 25th through April 2nd. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo.Africa to learn more. We're also going to Senegal in May for the Senegal Jazz Festival. Well, St. Louis Jazz Festival in Senegal. That's May 9th through the 18th. Then we roll to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. That's August 9th to the 18th. Then we're going to Zanzibar in September. That's September 20 through the 29th. And then Ivory Coast and Namibia, that's in November. So if you're interested in joining us on one of our adventures, experiences, because this is not just a tour. This is an adventure. This is an experience. All right. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo.Africa to learn more. Without further ado, let's jump into tonight's topic. This issue in Minnesota. There's some listen. Ira Rude boy. I can't pronounce your name. I Google search Somalian, and I mean this was the best photo that came up on Google. Again, I Google Somalian, and this was the best photo that came up. I'm dead. Y'all laughing. I'm dead serious. This was the best photo that came up. I mean, it is what it is. And and listen, the photo that showed up the most was the I'm the captain now. That was the photo that showed or popped up on the Google search the most. So I found this one. I said, you know what? I'm gonna use this one because if I would have used the I'm the captain now photo on the Captain Phillips movie, y'all really would have been saying, Diners, you messed up. You dead wrong. Man, that was the best photo. Google Somalian man and see what comes up. It's a bunch of red beard Arab Somali Muslims are Captain Phillips. That's what comes up. A bunch of red beard Somali Arab Muslims are Captain Phillips. That's what comes up. So I said we rolling with Captain Phillips. I'm sorry to any Somali that I might have offended. I apologize. So I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on in Minnesota with the Somali daycare. I gotta play this. This is just. I mean, come on, y'all. Would y'all send your child to this daycare? Would y'all would y'all send your child to this daycare right here? Hold on. Oh, they closed down. Oh, this is from 4 days ago. Hold on. Oh, let me play the video real quick.
Tonight, we are following up on a Minneapolis daycare at the center of questions about fraud in Minnesota's child care assistance program.
We have been tracking CCAP funding for more than a year. Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen is here with new developments, raising, Eric, even more questions.
You might have heard this name. We're talking about the Quality Learning Center near downtown Minneapolis. First, it was closed, then it was open, and now we've confirmed it's closed again. That's all after the owners recently rejected allegations of stealing taxpayer money. Back at the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis, it was a case of deja vu. Hi, this is Eric Rasmussen with KSTP Channel 5. We're still waiting for a response to our calls and emails looking for an explanation about what 5 Investigates found Wednesday morning. A search of the state's online system reveals Quality Learning Center now closed as of January 6th. A 180-degree turn after our cameras recorded a parade of parents and children into the business last week. The owners used that to refute a viral YouTube video claiming to expose empty daycares, collecting millions of taxpayer dollars.
Someone came to our building outside of operating hours.
So why is the daycare suddenly closed again? The Department of Children, Youth, and Families would only tell 5 Investigates that Quality Learning Center requested closure of their license on Tuesday. No answer from the daycare's owner when property records led us to this house in Shoreview looking for answers. What do you make of the fact that right after that big scene last week that they're closed again?
Well, to me, that's, where there's smoke, there's fire. Perhaps they're trying to avoid something.
State Rep Nolan West says questions about Quality Learning Center prompted him to send a letter to the head of DCYF demanding more transparency and accountability when it comes to which licensed daycare providers in Minnesota are actually open. A question KSTP has been asking for a long time since reporter Jay Coles found empty daycares receiving taxpayer funding a year ago. What do you think may actually come out of your letter, our reporting, all this attention?
Well, the idea is we need this to be taken seriously because we need bipartisan cooperation to pass any law in Minnesota. And clearly, we are in need of more anti-fraud measures.
As we reported last week, DCYF says that Daycare Quality Learning Center received $1.9 million in taxpayer funding in just the last fiscal year. Now, the agency declined our request for another interview today, but I can tell you it said the operators of Quality Learning Center must now reapply for another license if they ever want to reopen again.
It's hard to keep track of that center, what's been going on this week, all over the place.
A lot happening.
Yeah, Eric, thank
Thanks.
you.
So we've heard from the NAACP. We've heard from all the blackity black organizations, in regards to Trump's immigration policy, how they disagree with it and how they're discriminating and attacking and going after Somalis and wrongfully. Where's the Arab League? Has the Arab League made a statement? How they're profiling the Somalis? Has the Arab League made a statement? Somalia is part of the Arab League. So is this a black issue or is this an Arab issue? And I mean, we know why. I mean, we know why the black organizations are making a stink over this, because it's Trump. Whatever Trump does, they're gonna say something, because they really don't care. It's just because it's Trump. Yeah. Would you guys send your children to the Quality Learning Center? Would anybody send their kids there? And how do you get 1.6 million? I'm not hating. I'm not hating. But how do you get 1.6 million and you can't even spell learning right? Somebody says it's a Somali issue. Yeah, it's a Somali issue. But guys, links in the chat room. But where's the Arab League? Where's the Arab League at? Has anyone heard from the Arab League? But links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. Okay, Cashanova's here. Go. Cashanova, go ahead.
Peace, Diners. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. Hey, is this an Arab or a black issue? Do we gotta ask that, Diners?
I think we gotta ask it. I'm asking.
Okay. I think it's an Arab issue because, as
Mhm.
far as I'm concerned, they said they weren't black. They were Somalian, right? They close to the Arabs than it's the black. And I get it. It's with all those people in the Horn of Africa though. Like their blackness is questionable. From Somalia, Eritrea, and even parts of
Ethiopia,
Ethiopia, man.
even Ethiopia.
Yeah, you got some Ethiopians who say they Caucasian. It's a classification in Ethiopia or whatnot. But yeah, man, this is an Arab issue, man. Y'all Arabs. They said they.
Oh, my bad, Cash. I hit the wrong button. Go ahead.
Yeah, even though Arabs don't accept them, this is definitely an Arab issue, I would say.
Somebody says I'm Eritrean and a lot of East Africans are anti-black, so y'all really don't got to do shit for them. But you got to understand the NAACP and what's the lady out of Texas, man? The politician. Help me out, Castro. Jasmine Crockett.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
with her fake tears.
Well, I mean, that's okay.
Hey, Diners.
Go ahead, Skywalker.
Yeah, Diners. I just mind. First, let me say greetings to you and greetings to my brother here on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to say that first of all, this kind of goes back to Amos Wilson's book, Self-Hatred and Self-Defeatism. African Americans are pros at anything that self-defeats their interest. And what's so crazy about it, we got Trump out here, and anybody who understands politics and understands legal history would understand that the things that Trump is doing is some of the most revolutionary stuff maybe since Abraham Lincoln. And that's not to say that Abraham Lincoln was just a fancy full of black people, but the 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment are probably the most important amendments to black people's liberation here in America. And what immigrants are doing, many of them, not just our African brothers, right? Because me personally, I'm not, I'm all for my African brothers, even the immigrants here. But one of the things that the immigration policy as a whole has been used for, not that I'm against immigrants, But what it has been used for is to undermine the rights of African Americans, in particular, the birthright citizenship. Now, I was talking to
Skywalker. If you don't mind me asking, when is that? Isn't that at the Supreme Court now? Like they're
yes, yeah, it's at the Supreme Court, and in my legal opinion, I really feel like that Trump is completely correct here. Because a lot of the first thing that people say is that, it says that anybody who's born, if you read the amendment, it says that anybody who's born, in America, will have American citizenship subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America. But that last part of that statement of that provision, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, is what's most important, because most of the immigrants who come over here are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. The whole purpose of that last few ounces of words was strictly for African Americans. And anybody who's read the slaughterhouse cases, and like I say, if you're not a lawyer, maybe you're not familiar with the slaughterhouse cases, but the slaughterhouse cases are when the Supreme Court first interpreted the 14th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment was actually more recently reinterpreted by Justice Roberts. And I'm pretty sure he's not fanciful of white people, black people either. But he gave a very great analysis of the 14th Amendment, and he actually reaffirmed that the 14th Amendment was designed to protect black people in that case. Believe it or not, that case is called Harvard versus the student national government or something like that, but it's a case from it was the affirmative action case. I'm sorry, the case name in particular slips my mind right now. But the 14th Amendment was made for African Americans. It was made to protect, because African Americans, if the 14th Amendment wasn't made when we were born, we wouldn't be subject to the United States of America. We would actually be subject to Africa, because we are not Americans and we are Africans first. So they had to put that provision in there first for the Africans that they had, that was actually over here as a result of slavery, to make them United States citizens, in terms of law, right? In terms of law. Here we're speaking strictly legal here, right? Obviously, we're human beings first or whatever, but from a legal perspective, to afford us the term of art of citizenship, we needed to be subject to the United States jurisdiction. And because we were born here as a result of slavery, that made us subject to the United States jurisdiction. Any other person that comes over here is not subject to the United States jurisdiction. They're subject to the countries that they came from. So I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump is completely right about this. And what's so crazy about it, you want to know who one of the foremost Pan-African is right now? Believe it or not, Dinas?
Hold on, let me guess. Clarence Thomas.
No, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Okay.
Donald Trump is one of the foremost Pan-Africans. If you look at what he's doing right now, he's telling African immigrants that, look, man, you need to go back to your countries and build your countries up, right? If you notice that he's been talking about the Monroe Doctrine, right? The Monroe Doctrine, he's kind of bringing that doctrine back up. And the Monroe Doctrine was the doctrine that gave us Liberia, which is why the capital of Liberia is called Monrovia. Not to mention, he took U.S. aid away from Africa. If anybody understands politics, U.S. aid was one of the primary handicaps of African countries. And matter of fact, all of the aid that the United States was giving it, all the corrupt politicians were doing over there, were just taking it to go buy Benzes and take trips in France. He's trying to remove himself from the UN. So a lot of the things that Donald Trump is doing, believe it or not, is actually in the interest of black people. It's called self-determination. And some of the people who don't understand politics, people who just want to run with this racist crap for Donald Trump, that's just a talking point. I think there's an interview with Donald Trump. And me personally, Dennis, let me say this off the muscle. I don't care what white people are doing, right? I'm strictly, and if you ask me, we need to stop caring about what white people are doing. Black people need to worry about what's going on in the black world exclusively, strictly. Right. But since we're talking about white people, right, since I guess Donald Trump is a big topic, and he reserves a lot of rent space in a lot of black people's minds as a result of the media, we can talk about it. Right. And everything that he is doing is enforcing the civil rights of African Americans. There's a speech or an interview by Donald Trump where he deals with this idea of him being called a racist. And he says that, you know what? he said I might be the most least racist person you ever met. He said it's the first thing that the Liberal Party wants to come at. When they run out of talking points, then they run to I'm a racist or whatever, right? But when you look at what he's doing, challenging this immigration, when the racist Democratic Party, the former the party that literally fought a war to keep black people in slavery, the Democratic Party, by them letting 21 million immigrants to come over here to take black jobs and take African American jobs. He gave a speech when he said that immigration was violating the civil rights of black people. But you don't see that on CNN, right? You might see it on Fox News, right? But you don't see it on any of these liberal.
We did see it on CNN, but they spend it into it being an insult and saying, and asking, what are black jobs? They got offended by it. Like, what's a black job?
Yeah. That's what they do, right? They got they like to play this semantics game or whatever. Yeah, that's what CNN. CNN is a racist organization. If you ask me, it's an anti-American organization. And Donald Trump has actually suggested sanctioning CNN somehow, if he can get around the First Amendment issues there, somehow doing something about that racist, anti-American propaganda spewing media house. But like I say, the whole thing with this Somalian issue, and I agree with my brother here, it's definitely an Arab issue. Somalians view themselves as Arabs as a result of the trans-Saharan slave trade. So many black women got raped over there that all this. When you look at Somali, and it's just Arab exudes out of their ethnicity. And like I say, a lot of them are engaged in fraud here in America. Right now in Minnesota, they've been some massive amounts of frauds, and they like to talk about Nigerian fraud, right? Well, right now, Somalians are championing the fraud with regard to federal assistance programs over there in Minnesota. And that's not to chastise my Somali and African brothers. I'm the most devout Pan-African guy you can find, but African immigrants coming over here, and committing fraud and stuff like that in helping Africa, right? So by Donald Trump sending Africans back to African countries, if you're a true Pan-African, you should be for that. But the first thing they want to say, he's racist, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But hey, these are people who don't understand politics. They're not political scientists, as the word is in itself. I think a lot of times when we talk about politics, or at least political science, we forget about that word called science there, which means that politics is actually a very, very intensive and dedicated science. It's not something that you can just learn about watching CNN or Fox News and think that you have an understanding of politics. As a matter of fact, that if you use the talking points of these media houses, it actually proves that you are not a political scientist because you are being swayed by the very engine of political science, with the media. So, Donald Trump is actually, like I say, man, if you look at what he's doing, he's the most pro-black, Pan-African, neutral president I've ever seen. And matter of fact, you can take that racist thing away, because as soon as the South African whites came over here, he put them in internment camps. Right. So, but they're quick to say he's racist. Oh, he's racist, but he's putting his own kind up. He's racist, but he's at war with Europe. Right. So I don't, no, he's just an American. He's a blue-blooded American, a white one at that. Right. And hey, look, I don't care about white people. I don't care what they're doing, but I'm a fair person. I view things with a neutral eye. And what I see from Donald Trump is very, very far from racist. What I saw from Biden and what I see from every day from the liberal administration is racism. And anyone who understands racism and understands how it changes and morphs itself would agree with me. But I going back to, I guess, to the issue at heart. This whole Somalian issue is an Arab issue. First of all, it's an African issue, right? It's an African issue wholeheartedly, right? Black African immigrants can't scream Pan-Africanism and then get mad when Donald Trump is sending you back to Africa, right? How are you a Pan-African if you're over here, but you're not over there? You need to be over there building institutions so that we can actually practice this whole idea called African Pan-Africanism. But I'll yield there, and I guess I'll hang around a little bit and see if. Hey
guys, link in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you can click on the link. Again, link is in the in the chat room. Skywalker, what's your thoughts on the shooting, the ICE shooting with the
It's a white woman that got in. It's a white woman that got in the way to federal business. Once again, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a white woman, liberal white woman, Karen, got in the way of federal business. We got people out here protecting every breath that an undocumented, mind you, I'm using my words carefully, every breath that an undocumented immigrant takes in this country is an illegal one. Period. If you, I mean, you can go out there on these liberal suicidal missions and, man, get out of their way and let them folks do their jobs. And a lot of people, mind you, I live in the South, Dynas, and I come up from a situation and rest that lady's soul. I don't wish death upon anyone, right? But you get in the way of business that has nothing to do with you. Sometimes you get the bad end of sometimes bad things happen, right? So, but like I say, rest her soul. I feel bad for her family and everything. But, in my opinion, ICE was trying to do a job and, she got in the way. But I was going to say, Dynas, I live in the South and I come from a situation that when I was coming up, you'll walk into a gas station and you'll see a black person in their gas station working. And I'm not saying a gas station job is a great job, but that job was paying the bills of somebody's family. You walk into the grocery stores, and it was black people doing the work, right? Firemen, it was black people who the firemen, and police officers, it was black people who the police officers. Man, when I say in the South, you walk into these stores, you got these Indian dots, not feathers, Indians in the gas stations. You got the Mexicans, or the immigrants running the police departments now. You got them on the fire department. Man, I said I need to start calling the ICE on the police department now, right? You know what I mean? Because it's no way that all of these immigrants are legal. I mean, it's just no way, right? And so Donald Trump can't. He is so right about this. The Democrats allowed an invasion of our country of absolute undocumented citizens to undermine the purposes of the 14th Amendment. And Dynas, mind you, I've read the speeches that was given on the floor of Congress when the 14th Amendment was being passed, right? And one of the things that we do in law when we're trying to find out, first we go to the cases because the cases are what interprets statutes and provisions of the Constitution. But sometimes we'll go to the speeches that were given on the floor of Congress in support or in opposition of certain provisions of the Constitution or certain federal statutes, right? And I'm talking about like when you read and I'm pretty sure you can find them online. When you read the intentions for the 14th Amendment, it was strictly what the Democrats are doing right now. It was strictly to protect us from exactly what they're doing right now. Period. So, Donald Trump, man, anybody who wants to raise and that's what the Democrats do, right? If the media is so crazy, if the media hates you, then we probably need to be supporting the person they hate. And if they love you, then we probably need to be raising our eyebrow at the person that they're celebrating or that they're loving. You know what I'm saying? So, I haven't seen, and like I say, the media uses all, they use these sound clips and AI and stuff to try to warp what the man is saying and stuff like that. I was watching this movie Running Man, the new version of Running Man, not the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The new version of Running Man? They did a remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Yeah, they did a remake of Running Man. And Dynas, it is very, very politically relevant. It's very politically relevant.
Is it actually good, though?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, first of all,
who's playing Arnold's character? And then I got to pass it to Brandon. Who's playing Arnold's character?
I don't know the guy's name. And once you get past the interracial relationship crap that they're trying to throw at you, it's a pretty good movie. And the last thing I'm gonna say about that. Well, the last thing I'm gonna say about that, Dynas, is that it's a very political movie. There's a scene in the movie when the guy's just talking about all this political truth, right? And then the media takes what he's saying and completely changes what he's saying to make him seem like a criminal. And that's exactly what they do to Donald Trump. But I'm done right now. I'll yield and maybe respond.
Okay, go ahead, Brandon. Brandon, you gotta unmute yourself, Brandon. Brandon.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Do I sound like I'm on the Obama?
No, you sound like you're on your actual real iPhone.
Right. There you go. The guy from The Running Man is Glenn Powell. He played in the movie Devotion with Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
It's a really good movie. I saw it.
The Running Man is a really good movie. It's a good movie.
The new one is really
Brandon,
good.
was I right, Brandon? Did you feel like it was very politically, kind of insightful in many ways, like symbolically?
Yeah, it was just like the original one where it showed how they can basically manipulate people for you or against you by using AI technology. That was the whole theme of the movie.
Exactly.
That was the whole theme of the movie. It was mixed with like kind of like reality TV, but then showing how they like manipulate shit. Because if you watch the original Running Man, remember they took they took the image and made it look like he like killed everybody in the helicopter. So
exactly.
It was like same theme from the first one. I like the first one better, but it's the same thing. They don't like the way something turned out, they just change it. And then a crowd, which the audience is the whole world, and they like, oh look, this person died, and he really didn't die, It was pretty good though. You should watch it. It's definitely you won't fall asleep on it. We at that age where if a movie don't catch you in the first 5-10 minutes, we gonna fall asleep on it. Yeah. So is the Somali immigration issue a black issue? Yes, a black issue. 1,000% it's a black issue, but probably not for the reasons that people are gonna think, or for the reasons that everybody wants to believe. It's a
Never mind. I know what, Brandon. I'll take that back. You're on your Obama phone. You then dropped off. Guys, hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Links in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. See, Brandon, you must be on your Obama phone.
No, I hit that by accident. But
okay,
yeah, so it's a black issue because it's a I feel like it's a defining moment for black people globally, right? You hear so many black people talk about, I wish we had our own country, wish we had our own community, we should separate from the white man. But moments like this shows you what would happen if black people really did have their own, like where white folks were not involved at all. And the reality is, Dinus, I'm gonna be real with you, it's looking like if we did have our own and a white man just took a step back and didn't interfere, we would probably have cesspools that devolved into chaos within a matter of days. Because at this point, black people is like, some black people are like, I would say the majority of black people are like, it doesn't matter if they committed fraud. Donald Trump's a racist. Like, so you just gonna let somebody steal damn near 8 billion or 19 billion, some estimates say, dollars from your economy, and then just say, oh, that's cool because you can't say nothing because it's racist? Like, it definitely is a black issue. And I think we should be the first people calling the Somalians out for what they're doing. Because if Black America went to Somalia and did that, bro, we'd be dead. They'd be strung us up over some shit like that. So yeah, definitely. If you can't stand together for what's right where you're from or where you're at, you ain't no good to Africa or nowhere else. You just gonna be somebody who go over there and get dragged into corruption like everybody else. And with the continent dealing with corruption, Dinus, you already know what's the first thing black people say about Africa. The corruption, right, Dinus? So
Correct.
you talk about corruption in Africa, but you over here defending corruption in America. So that just means you're a damn hypocrite. Because you can't talk about corruption in Nigeria or the Sahel, and then when the Somalians do some BS and steal, you defending them talking about, oh, it's just racism, when you know they have evidence that they stole, and many of those Somalians have already took plea deals admitting that they stole.
Let me pass it to Prince Steve. Go ahead, Prince Steve.
What's going on?
What's up?
Not much. So this Somali issue, a black issue. I would say yes and no. And the reason why I'm kind of like in the middle on that is because a lot of Somalians that I have met, kind kind of like side with the Arabs. Like they have more in common with Arab people, and I think it's because a lot of Somalians that you come across are Muslim. They dress like Muslims, um, and they really go out their way to pretty much separate themselves from Black Americans. But we could argue that the diaspora wars, we have diaspora wars in our Black community, in our Pan African community. But I think Somalians, it's a Black issue because of the whole Somali fraud scandal. Um, that gave Trump a lot of ammo to pretty much ban a lot of other African countries along with Somalia. And I mean, the way he feels about Somalians is how he feels about a lot of other Africans. Also, ICE being in Minnesota, ICE being in Minneapolis, they were mainly there for the Somalian immigrants. I mean, the Somalians are high on the priority list in Minneapolis. Like they're the large immigrant group there.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Most Somalis in Minnesota are American citizens. So just based on common sense, there's really no reason to send a large force from ICE into Minnesota. The federal agents didn't go into Minnesota until the fraud was discovered in mass, and they sent investigators in. Then when people started trying to impede the investigators and impede ICE from getting the criminals they were getting, that's when they sent the agents in numbers to help with like controlling, keeping the other agents safe.
Brandon,
85% of Somalis are citizens.
let me finish. Go ahead. I got to pass. Go ahead, Prince.
I mean, Brandon, basically what you said is the fraud is why they brought ICE in to investigate. They started bringing investigators. The fraud brought the attention there. So I mean, you could blame Somalians for that. I mean, I think that I'm not saying that Somalians are the reason why other African countries should be banned, but it started with the Somalians. That's all I say. I'm not saying that Somalians in general are just bad people, but there is a lot of negativity, with the with the Somalian community in Minnesota. I mean, Ilhan Omar is not thought of as a legitimate politician, as a legitimate congresswoman, and that's part of the problem.
She's thought of as legitimate, but she's not thought of as American. I would agree with that.
If she's not American, she's not legitimate.
Let me pass the mic to T. Go ahead, T. Khalid.
No, man, it's really, I agree with the majority of the panel as far as the 14th Amendment. It is being abused by immigrants. And what they're doing is they're bringing their entire families in and setting up shop in communities and pretty much taking money, from America and really sending it back to our homeland. And none of this, in my opinion, benefits African Americans. Like, most of the times when immigrant communities come in, and, African Americans are at fault for this too. They just come in our communities, just shut up shop, take over all the work, the gas stations, everything, and then just send it back to their own communities. The problem with Black people is that Black people are so programmed to be Democrats, and Black people never control media a day in their life. In fact, I would say African Americans never controlled media in the history of America. So a lot of our people are just programmed to just take on whatever the liberal media tells us to. Brainwashed. And that's why I'm really careful, talking about white supremacy, because the problem is a lot of Black people think that if enough immigrants of color come in, then we're going to all team up against white people and finally defeat them. And that's never going to happen. That is a fairy tale, but that's why they're so animated about this. And yeah, I do think it's a Black issue, to be honest with you, because it is diluting the Black vote. You know what I'm saying? And also Black people are going to have to compete against immigrants for, labor, especially low income Black people. I mean, I don't think any of us is on the panel is low income, but if you're supposedly pro Black, I don't understand why you are supporting groups that you are going to have to compete against. I don't
Yeah, let me go
understand. Like,
next.
if you're pro-black, you want to knock out all the competition and do whatever is best for your own people. So yeah, I think we do need to stop being abused as African Americans, stop having our emotions taken advantage of, and yeah, get the Somalis out. You know what I'm saying? If they're not supporting African Americans at all, or any of these immigrant groups, I say get them out, man. You're not going to keep defending. I mean, excuse me, abusing the Fourth Amendment on our behalf.
Hmm?
All right, go ahead, Willie.
So the conversation about the Fourth Amendment, I don't even see as really applying to the Somali. I don't, and again, I'm in no way defending any Somalis. If Trump want to get rid of all of them, so be it. My argument is that they're not a major opposition to Black America. It's only about 80,000 of them in Minneapolis, right? Now, when you look at what they've accomplished politically, Iman Omar, right? You have a ton of Black people voting for them. There is a crossroads where what's best for us and what's best for them intersect, right? So I'm not, trying to be active in getting rid of them, but if Trump gets rid of them, so be it, right? Like with Somalis in particular, you have this new term that's being created by the U.S. government. It's called MENA, right? Middle Eastern North Africans, right? Why? Because a lot of these Somalians was coming over here claiming white from the gate. So I'm not claiming that they were directly linked to us, right? But they're not this huge issue that I feel like some of the Black community might buy into because white supremacy has an issue with them. White supremacy has an issue with Iman Omar, right? That's outside of the scope of what really benefits us. I don't care what them Somalis are doing in Minneapolis. I'm not concerned with that. Fun fact, when that cop shot that white woman, he was considered a Black cop, right? But he was a
And not
Somali.
Willie, not necessarily. Not no, not necessarily. I know a couple like 6 years ago, that
Right.
Somali cop. Yeah, they really
You know
didn't
he's
call him
home.
black. They considered him Somali.
You know he's home,
Oh yeah.
right? He's out of
Oh,
jail. Three and a half
I didn't
years
know
he
that. When
did.
did he get
Can,
out?
Right.
can I
So
just ask a question
he
about
did.
white
Hold up,
supremacy?
real quick, real
Because
quick.
are white people, don't just being serious, because Black people, we kind of act stupid when it comes to race. Are white people not supposed to advocate for themselves at all?
I didn't
Because
hear the
because
question.
you are living in a damn dream world. Small hats advocate for themselves. Asians advocate for themselves. What is this uniqueness where if white people advocate for themselves, that's a supremacy? Can you go to China right now and see Chinese people looking out for the best interests of Chinese people and say this is a Chinese supremacist racist country?
So
Or would you understand that being in a country that is majority Chinese, unfortunately, yes, the population is going to look out for themselves.
I got you.
And
So
then
with the
and
white
then to blame
conversation,
them for that, then the white man could say, well, then if we're gonna stop all supremacists, which is fine, then America needs to have a stance where no racial group in the country can advocate for themselves. No racial group. If we're all going to be Americans, it is one race, and let's just get rid of all races.
yeah, but that's not fundamentally American, right? Like in America, you can be an Irish American, you can be an Italian American, you can be an African American, right? Like you can still have a connection to what created you, with who your people are, right? You can be a Somali American, right? Now, the problem then becomes if we're dealing with the Somalis and this fraud. Me as a Black man, my issue is these areas, right? They contain Somalis and a lot of Black people. There were a lot of Black people that voted for Iman Omar, right? So when you're dealing with this fraud, it affected Black communities. These were dollars earmarked for all the people of these communities, and they robbed us as well. I don't know how we can get around that, right? So now my conversation with the Somali would get even deeper going back to the continent where they even beef with the continent. I always say, I've never been called an Akata. I've been called a beach ass N-word, right? And probably because I was acting like one, right? But those Somalis will throw Jareer out there all day long, right? I've been called the Jareer, right? So if I'm dealing with it as a Black American, no, these people aren't necessarily aligned with us, right? But politically, in the current model, we see Black people voting along with Somalis and Iman Omar. That's just a fact. So I'm just saying, if Donald Trump decides to crash out on them, that's not my issue, especially when you've been robbing my community, right? Like when we're talking about this Somali fraud, this had to do with interconnected communities. It wasn't just Somali people that they were robbing. No, these funds were earmarked for communities. It's a lot of Black folk in those communities. In Minneapolis, mainly. I wouldn't even say anywhere else because the whole fraud is attached to Minnesota, right? So, yes, they've been robbing our communities. That's a valid argument to have. And so, if the Donald wants to crash on them, are they more of a benefit for me to crash out and defend them? Or have they been more of a liability where I should just mind my business and let the Donald do what he wants? I choose the latter, right? I don't see the Somali communities as benefiting us as much as probably they should have, especially with that fraud out there. They defrauded communities where Black people were. That's just a fact. There's no way around that, right? Now, I'm not totally anti-Somali, but even if you're dealing with them in context of the continent, Somalis hate everybody, right? So me as a Pan-African, I'm not linked to them. Whatever happens to them happens to them.
Remember, they just became black as soon as they were about to, as soon as Trump started passing out the information that they're going to be deported and vetted.
Bro, white folks created a term MENA because they're coming over here claiming white. That's an underlying portion of the conversation as well.
That's
But people,
laughable. They don't even
but people,
look close to white.
but
But
people,
that's how race in America is set up. You can claim whatever
but
you
people
want.
keep focusing. But people keep focusing on the racial aspect, and now the biggest issues with Black people. We see a Black person involved, we automatically start trying to like reverse engineer it back into race. Like, oh, how? Okay, they're messing with a group of people that are Black, so let's figure out what the angle is and put it in a racial perspective. The reality is, it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with political leverage, right? Because
Affiliations.
if you think
Right.
about it and you put two and two together, the Democrat Party is trying to figure out who's going to run for president next term, right?
Correct.
There's a reason Kamala Harris picked Tim Walz as her running mate.
Correct.
There's also a reason why she led the highest, the highest funded political campaign in history. Kamala Harris collected $1 billion, right? She couldn't string a sentence together. She was able to raise $1 billion. So the reason why I focused on Minnesota is because
Hey, Brandon,
was stolen.
Brandon, your phone's going
You
in and out.
breaking up a bit.
You breaking up.
But Brandon, what I would say was,
Oh man, I thought I was good.
hey, Brandon, I would literally argue, right, that in 2028, looking at the landscape, I see Kamala running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think we get our first female president, right? Because I think after the MAGA brand dies, right, MAGA has no succession plan. If you think
Nah, they have a succession
Vance,
plan. Your boy Vance is gonna run.
if you
Yeah,
think
it's not.
Vance is going to do anything in the Republican Party alone, you're a fool. There's a reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene left her office and is now publicly trying to oppose the Donald and MAGA, right? There's a
She
whole new movement. There's a whole new movement called America First, right? You gotta
she can't
understand.
she can't win.
DeSantis
She
is
can't
gonna
even
run.
win. She
DeSantis
can't
is
even
gonna
win
beat.
her.
Hear what I'm saying though. You gotta understand for these MAGA folk, right?
But
It was
listen,
about making America great, right?
no, you
A
have to.
lot of MAGA folk have a problem with Venezuela. They
Are
have
you
a
Mag? Are
problem.
you MAGA? Are you MAGA?
Hell no, I'm black.
Okay, so I'm MAGA. So let me tell you what MAGA folks thinking because you don't know what the hell you're talking
No, I
about.
do.
Wait a minute. Marjorie Taylor Greene can't even win a race in her state, Georgia. So that's why she needed Donald Trump's help, and that's why she ended up just saying
Now,
she was
how
going to
would you
retire.
say that when she stepped down from a
I'm telling
position
you,
she
she
won?
she stepped down because she couldn't win without Trump's endorsement. Like
She
I
already
follow.
won.
No, listen. I keep telling you, you don't know what you're talking about.
No. Wait.
She
Let
was.
me explain what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no. You can't explain something that you don't know
She
because
stepped down from a
you don't
position
even
that
know
she
that
had
she wasn't.
already won.
Dinus, are you in Georgia?
I'm in
Hold on.
Georgia.
Okay, Dinus. So this guy can know that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Marjorie
Yes.
Taylor Greene, was she not? Is she not? Was she not in jeopardy of losing her seat?
Uh, uh, Georgia.
No. That isn't even an argument to be
Nah,
made.
I don't
That's
know,
why she was
Brandon.
trying to run for governor of
What
Georgia.
I'm
But she wasn't going to
Brandon,
win.
our
But she
district is
was
gonna
never
I
really
want to
fall
challenged
make an
apart.
win the
important
governor.
point, right? When you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the reasons why she stepped away from the post that she had already won, she had it locked in, she won it. She's jockeying for a position to oppose the MAGA party. A lot of people, you got to realize, Donald Trump sold that he was going to give up the Epstein files, right? This is what a lot of white people voted on. When it
Don't
all
start with
played
the
out,
Epstein file stuff. You
hold on,
going
slow
into the
down. I'm
weeds
not,
now.
hold on, slow down.
Bro,
I'm
she
not
is
getting
not
stuck.
some type of
You're
never
dragging
Trump,
us into the
Mitt
weeds,
Hear what
Romney
I'm
man.
type
saying? No,
person,
I'm
bro.
not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not getting
She's not
stuck there.
some Democrat
How did we
supporting, just
get to
like
Epstein?
I never
never
said she.
Trump.
Slow down, right? What I'm saying to you is there are a lot of disgruntled Republican voters, right? You literally have a movement right now
Donald
called
Trump's approval rating
America.
among Republicans
Are
is
you familiar with
87%.
America First?
You got it. When you
Are
speak
you
on
familiar
some,
with America
listen,
First?
when you speak,
Trump is fucking
when,
up, man.
when
I
you
voted for Trump,
listen,
and he's doing
listen,
Are
man,
you
terrible.
brother?
listen,
Are you
I
familiar with
follow
the
this.
movement
I
America
follow
First?
this daily as a registered Republican, bro. Trump's approval rating among Republicans is 87%. You
All right,
guys
cool.
saying stuff with no numbers behind it. I'm telling you, Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for governor of Georgia, and the polling
She's
was
not.
not
She's
coming.
not. She's not. Brandon. She's not going to win the Republican
Dinus, let me finish what I'm
primary.
saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. She wanted to run for governor of Georgia. The numbers were not coming back in her favor. Donald Trump told her he does not think she should run for governor. Marjorie got pissed off and she turned against Donald Trump because he would not support her. And what it really means is he wouldn't send her money for a
Brandon,
campaign for governor in Georgia. So
Can
she
I say
turned
something,
on him.
Dynasty? Can I
Brandon,
say
No,
something?
Brandon, I
hold on,
think
I
it's
gotta
more to do
pass.
with
Hold
the
on,
foreign
hold on.
policy, man.
Jay's been waiting. So go ahead, Jay.
Hey, what's up? I want to read something here. Um, and it's about the fraud in Minnesota, right? So it says in 2021, federal law enforcement first probed a series of multi-million dollar fraud schemes.
Right.
Those fraud schemes have led to federal charges against 92 people with 62 convictions and counting,
Correct.
right? Most of the fraud defendants were Somali descent.
Correct.
The president in 2021 was Joe Biden.
Correct.
So these prosecutions started under and pretty much concluded under Biden.
Well,
But
that's
yet still
problematic, though.
1 second, yet still you did not hear the rhetoric about the Somali people as a whole. Under Biden, these prosecutions were happening. The
Correct.
problem is not prosecuting criminals. That's what law enforcement should do. And the problem is you don't want to demonize a whole group because of some criminals.
No one's
It's
doing
like if
that.
I have no
it's,
problem with
it's
doing
like
that.
if I look at black people and judge them all off of, a murderer or something. You don't do that,
Because it's a
especially
different
as a
scale.
leader of a country. You see what I'm saying? And so that's
but
the
wait,
big issue.
brother.
Hey, no,
It's
I'm
because
trying to hear Jay finish. Go ahead, Jay.
Now, this is the thing. On the positive side, what this shows, right, is that in terms of business, the federal government is providing a lot of funding for a lot of different things, right? And so if you are a person of integrity and upstanding person and you're willing to provide a service to people and get paid by the federal government, it's showing you that there's money in this type of stuff. I just don't think that we should be demonizing because that's what Tariq Nasheed does, for instance. It's a
yeah,
similar, he's doing the same thing.
I
He's
agree.
demonizing a whole group of people off of and he uses one person or a group of people that say something negative about black Americans or something, and he uses that and blows up the whole thing and make it sound like it's everybody that's doing it. Every immigrant's doing that.
I agree. But
Now
here's
And
the
you're
then
problem.
and the
hold
Here's the
thing
up.
about
problem, bro.
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. The thing is, you can't. It's just like the black community in America, bro. No one's demonizing all Somalis. All Somalis jumped their ass out in defense of the fraudsters.
I
That's
disagree.
what happened. And black people do that all the time when you try to address criminality in our community. You got people who lawyers and doctors wouldn't steal a piece of candy jumping out in front of a damn murder or something, trying to defend them, talking about it's because of slavery. When they busted the fraudsters, you have Somalis jumping on TikTok talking about everybody just jealous of us and y'all hating on us. So please don't start with that. Nobody
So
called for them. They can't.
Brandon,
Nobody
so
called for
here's the
them. They
part I want to
jumped
Brandon,
out
respond with
there.
that, right? Because
They
I
jumped
agree with
Brandon,
out
what you're
there.
saying.
They jumped
Brandon.
out there in
Hold on.
defense of the criminals. Ilhan
Brand,
Omar jumped out there
I
in
agree
defense of
with
the
what you're
criminals,
saying.
and they got.
But
look,
here's what I'm
I
saying. Why
can't
you can never
take, I
compare that to the
can't
black
take,
community? The
what,
black
1 second.
community is 40 million people, right? You have Tim Scott as a part of the black community. So you have a non-centralized, like concentrated vote. There's some of us on this side, some of us on that side. You have 80,000 Somalis in all of Minnesota, right? And they're all kind of backing this issue. They're
Bro,
saying that this
90%
issue.
of black people vote Democrat. Ain't no sides in black
I
America.
get
It's
what you're
one
saying.
side,
I get, and
Democrat.
I wouldn't argue that, but I think we would agree on the point that I'm making, that the reason why the Minneapolis issue is such a big deal is because of the concentration of Somalis in one area and the effect that they have on this funding, right? So that's the difference between black people and Somalis. It's not comparable. I just wanted to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? But with the Somali community, yes, there is a documented fraud that went on. Yes,
But
we
people,
are
but
seeing.
but
Go
people
ahead.
keep saying, like somebody in the comments said, they're fighting back against hatred from the president. No, they're fighting against accountability.
I
And I
agree.
know that because my own group does the same thing. If you
Look,
try to hold black Americans accountable, we will bring up
I'm
racism, Jim
asking
Crow,
you. I'm
look,
vaudeville.
asking you. Don't
Somalis are doing the
conflate the
same
two
thing.
arguments.
I
But
can't take
On the
Brandon's,
Somali
I
side, I agree
cannot
with you.
take Brandon seriously.
you don't have to
Nah,
I
I'm
take me
saying,
can't
hold up.
seriously.
I'm saying
Tell
on
me
the
where I'm
Somali
lying.
side,
because
I
he
agree with you
comes up
100%, right? There's a documented.
I spoke,
I
he
get it. My
said,
fault.
right? He said, Brandon, you ever see that skit from Dave Chappelle, the black white supremacist? That's Brandon. He says if black people run a country, it's going to be chaos and it's going to disintegrate. He's telling you what he thinks about you.
No,
So
I'm
I
looking
can't
at the
take him
black
seriously.
community. Looking at the black community,
He
and I'm
sees
listening.
he sees a guy, right, that gets convicted, right, of a crime,
Yes.
openly brags of grabbing women by the crotch
Uh
without
huh.
their consent, right?
Okay. He never
Leads
said anything
a
about it without
revolution,
consent, but okay.
Please tell me this is
leads a
not a man that talks
revolution,
about white supremacy all day, but
leads
then
a
listening to the white
revolution,
dominated media to tell
leads
him who to be mad at. Really,
leads a
bro?
revolution against his own country
These
What
Negroes
what what
always
what
to
talk
to
about white
stop.
what
But
supremacy,
hold
revolution?
on,
Hold
but
he
then when
What
the
took
white
us
media
on
revolution
hold
do
on
you
the
on,
need?
land.
to stop the peaceful transfer of power, The
Right.
same thing Hugo Chavez did, the
Right.
same thing Fidel Castro did, the same
Madero.
thing Hitler did.
We
We're
hear
going
this
to
all day,
trial
man.
for it.
Wait.
But
When did Hitler stop the
Hitler,
peaceful transition of power,
brother,
bro?
see,
When did
study
Hitler stop
history.
the peaceful transition of power?
Brother,
You're just saying
Hitler,
buzzwords. You're
brother,
gaslighting. You're
Brandon,
gaslighting.
I would
you see,
disagree with that as
Brandon,
well, but let's not
You're
Hitler,
get stuck
look,
there.
gaslighting.
Let's not get
You're
stuck there.
gaslighting, J.A.
Brandon, look it up. Hitler went to prison for going against his own government for a coup.
But did he stop the
Chavez,
peaceful transition of power?
1 second. Chavez did the same thing.
All right, I'm not getting lost in the weeds with you.
It did stop the peaceful transfer of power
How did
because
me talking about the black community turn into you talking about Trump?
Yeah,
they
that
were
was
supposed to
crazy.
certify
How
the
did me
election.
listen,
They
man?
were supposed to certify the election on January 6th,
J
and it took
A
3 hours
J
for
A.
it to actually get certified.
How
Let's
did
Stopped
bring
me
it.
it back.
Now,
talking
this is
about
the
black
thing. This
people?
is
Let's
what I'm
bring it
saying.
back.
Because you're talking about black people support criminals, but then you're
We
not saying the
do.
same thing about
We
white people.
do.
They support criminals too, and you support a criminal. That's what
Bro,
I'm
That's a
but
saying.
we're
fact.
talking
So
about
what are
black
you
people
saying?
right
That's a
now. Why
That's
do
fact.
why
you
I
keep
can't take you
bringing up white
serious.
people?
That's why I can't take you seriously because you're
Because why
Why
biased
do
wouldn't we
you
make
and
a
keep
you're
bringing
a
up
comparison?
hypocrite. You're a
listen?
hypocrite and you're
Why
Why
biased.
do
You
you
don't
wouldn't we
take me
keep
make a
bringing up
seriously.
comparison? If we're
white
gonna
people?
demonize black people for what you
No
say
one's
is
demonizing black
black
people.
people, when
Brandon
you
is a
say
hypocrite
black
and
people
he's going to
support
lead
criminals,
everybody that
right?
We
follows him
do.
is going
We
to
It's
jail
do.
fair to
now.
make
Hey.
it's
So
fair.
Brandon.
It's fair to
So
make a
so
comparison and
why?
say white folks supported a criminal as well
Listen,
and
man.
made him president.
Listen, man. Where
When your
look,
boy
do
gonna
this.
release them Epstein
Let me
files?
let me
That's
just
what I'm
say this
saying. He
because
won't
y'all
talk
saying a
about
lot.
Epstein files no
Let
more.
me just
You
say
see what I'm
this.
saying?
Let
The
me
guy
say
starts a whole
this.
new war. He ain't talking about
Nobody
Let
that.
me
on this
say
panel was
this.
talking
He's a
about the
I'm on the
hypocrite.
Epstein
same.
files under
I'm,
Biden.
I'm on the same point. I'm on the same point. Y'all trying to filibuster. Okay, why do your neighborhoods are riddled with crime?
Because
You
of
could
lack
bring
of
up white
funding
people
and
all
over
day, but they
policing.
have. Listen, wait a minute. Look, you could bring up white people all day, but they have people neighborhoods to go to with crime. Why are your neighborhoods riddled with crime?
Because
If
they
they're
don't
over
have the same
policed,
level of
why are they riddled
policing.
with crime then?
Because
What,
they
The
don't have
what's
the
same
the
reason
same
why
level of
level
your
of
boy
police?
didn't go
policing.
to
I would
jail.
argue,
The
hold on.
same reason why
I
your
would
boy didn't
argue
go to
that
jail.
white
The same
communities
reason.
have the same
So more
amounts of
cops.
crime,
Wait a
right?
minute.
But because
Let
of
me ask you a
over
question.
policing, our crimes are
Oh, so
documented.
what you're saying?
That would be my
What you're
argument.
saying is, we have more crime in our community because we have more police in our community.
That's not what I said.
We use drugs at the
I
same
said
That's
we
rate
have
and
exactly
more
what you
people get
said,
locked up
documented
more.
crime. What I'm
The
saying
same
is,
reason your
bro.
if
boy
you
ain't in
So
let
that
me
jail.
would
let me
mean
answer real quick. I'm gonna be short. What I'm saying is, if you look at police stops, right? It is it's abundantly clear. If you've ever looked at these numbers, black people get stopped way more. This is why certain crimes are more
we're
documented.
talking about crime
Hold
by
on, let me
murder,
land, let
bro.
me land, let me land,
Not
let
trying.
me land. Listen what I'm saying. I was a Pan-African drug dealer. I only sold stuff to white people, right? Hear what I'm saying? I know they're doing just as much crime, but they're not being stopped as much, right? That's a reality of why their crimes aren't being documented. It's a fact.
Bro, we
If you
talking
look
about
at police
we're
stops,
talking about we're talking about murder, robbery, stuff that where you do it, you go to jail no matter what your color is.
I
Black
mean, what do
people
you
have
call
a
but here's
that
the
shit in
problem. You just
Venezuela
said
disproportionate.
though?
that.
Brandon, what do you call that
Wait,
shit
man,
in
wait, listen.
Venezuela?
What I'm telling you, listen,
Hold on, let me get him,
if
y'all.
white people
Go ahead.
if white people are doing the same amount of crime, like you say, show
Yep.
me the white neighborhoods that look like black neighborhoods where people rolling through the street, shooting each other up. People over here talk about where you from, blood and shooting you. Show me, point me to the neighborhood that's
Brandon,
white
you
I
living
that's
could
in the
show
doing that,
you
bro.
Dundalk,
1980s, bro.
Maryland.
Tell me what
I
Living
could
in the
show you
it's a
1980s,
neighborhoods
man.
in North look, the worst, hold on. The worst community.
Hey, guy, hey,
No,
Brandon, you're going in and out,
In and out. The
Brandon.
worst
Dynast, can you
community in
please
terms
ask
of
this man to tell us
criminality
the
in
neighborhood?
America,
Can you
it is
tell us the
in New
neighborhood?
Mexico.
Can you
The
please tell us
worst.
the neighborhood
I'm trying
where
to,
white
brother.
people are claiming
I'm
gangs
trying to, brother.
and shooting each other up over
I'm
colors?
trying to, brother. The
I don't know
You
worst
one
not. I
dangerous
want to know
white
the
neighborhoods
neighborhood
name
in
in
of the neighborhood.
America.
I
America.
don't want to know the state. Tell me the hood. Tell me the name of the gang.
the worst neighborhood in America.
I could tell you the 8 trade gangsters in the 60 Crips. Tell me the white equivalent.
Slow down.
No, you slow
Let me
down.
answer your question.
You're not going to answer it because there's no answer.
I'm trying to, because what you
give me the names of the gangs.
Listen, what you do.
Now I'm a nigga now. Now I'm a nigga now because you can't answer the question.
Hold on, slow down, brother.
Dennis, can you tell me the name of the white gang?
Brandon, you gotta let him answer the question, Brandon.
What I'm saying to you is, right, you guys will always go to the per capita argument.
And by the way, let me
told me the name of the gangs.
Whoa. Let me interject real quick. N-word tariff is on, so no more N-word, please. I forgot to give the disclaimer.
Go ahead. Can you tell me the name of the gangs, Dennis?
Man, Brandon, let him finish. Goodness.
My point is, you dudes will always go to the per capita argument, but the reality is, per capita, the worst town in terms of criminality, it's in New Mexico. That's a fact. There's not a lot of black people there, right? So in terms of the overall argument, where you do see these numbers being inflated, right? It's because they are stopping way more black people, right? That's an understood fact, even in law enforcement. They accept that as truth, right?
Wow.
So it's not that white people aren't committing crimes. They're not getting stopped, right? If you stop that white boy the same way you stop that YN, you're going to find a whole bunch of meth as well.
Okay, you're an absolute liar. The highest crime rate in America is Memphis, Tennessee, followed by Detroit. Followed by St. Louis. So please lie again about the town with the highest crime rate.
Is that per capita?
No, Will,
what is the name of the dangerous white neighborhood
that's all you people know how to do.
What am I, Willie? Come on now. Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, Chicago. I mean, come on, Willie, stop it.
Yeah,
this dude said New Mexico. Willie,
what is the white neighborhood that is a hood though? I'm just curious. Even
this
the poor
is why
white
black. Listen, instead of addressing the problem, Dinus, you just was talking
per capita.
You was just talking.
If you're
bro, you're not proving anything, bro. Bro, you made your point, bro. You gotta let someone rebuttal you, bro.
You know how many people live in Chicago?
We give this man the floor, and he lies to our face.
I gotta pass the mic to Cash. Willie, I don't know where you're going.
Dinus, I can't respond. Can I get 30 seconds? Just 30 seconds.
I gotta pass the Cash. Go ahead, Cash. Go ahead, Cash.
I'm a Chicago resident, and I can tell you a whole lot of crime going on in Chicago. Whole lot of niggers out here doing crime. So I don't really know what this brother talking about.
He said it's New Mexico.
I'm talking about per capita.
I think I understand what he mean by
the amount of people in Chicago, the deaths are not as impactful as on a per capita scale.
Oh, Lord.
What's going on in New Mexico?
All of us, bro.
That's a fact.
I don't know what you're talking about, Will. You
I could break it down.
On a per capita scale,
nobody's afraid of going to New Mexico, bro. Nobody's afraid of New Mexico, bro.
You said
nobody's afraid of it, bro.
We don't need any more of your lies right now. Yeah, give us a break.
Willie, we got to move on, Willie. Cash,
not even the Democrat liberal believes that, man.
I would definitely say probably Louisiana more dangerous than New Mexico. Man.
He said New Mexico.
I'm saying on a per capita
scale.
Man,
I don't know what you're talking about. Willie.
Most of these people making this argument will always go to per capita. If you look at per capita, it's not comparable to Chicago. The deaths in these communities in New Mexico, because of the lack of population, right, are way more impactful in terms of per capita.
What's the name of the hood in New Mexico? What's the name of the gang? What's the name of the hood and the white gang terrorizing New Mexico?
I'm not talking about gangs. I'm talking about crime.
Oh, God.
We can tell you all the black gangs.
So just a random white man just walking around. Got you, bro.
I can tell you who's doing the crime in Chicago. It's the BDs. It's the GDs.
Dinus.
It's the foes, the vice lords. These are the people
name
who
a city.
doing the crime.
And it's millions of people.
Hey,
right?
Let's name a city, and then we'll tell you the
if you
black gangs, and you
compare the
tell us the white
bodies in
gangs.
Chicago to the population of Chicago, and then you
Let's name
go
a city.
outside of that, it paints a completely different
Let's
picture.
name a city, and we'll tell you the black gangs, and you tell us the white gangs.
I'm not telling you no gangs. I'm not
Because
dealing
you
with
can't.
Hey, y'all, we gotta move on, Willie. We gotta move. We just gotta move on.
Go ahead.
Willie,
Unaccountability, bro.
Brain cells talking to Willie.
Yeah. Go ahead, T. Khalid. Something you want to add?
No. Yeah, bro. It's just that's the problem with a lot of our people, bro. Just unaccountable, bro. And when you're unaccountable like that, bro, nothing gets resolved. The brother cannot name one hood or one like white community that's this dangerous, even amongst white people, because black people, right? Why look, man? I live in Dallas, Texas. Why do you think black people say things like, "Yeah, man, I'm from Oak Cliff, man. Yeah, man, I'm from Chicago." That's like they're saying that because they are about that life. They don't survive some shit. You don't know a white person saying something like that towards a white neighborhood. Now, a white person will say that in reference to a black neighborhood. Like if they survived a black neighborhood, yeah, they will be like, yeah, I'm from this neighborhood. And yeah, it is more than like a bunch of black gangs and a bunch of black people killing each other. But there is no like white neighborhood where white folks can talk to each other about and saying this is a bad neighborhood. And also,
That's
if the
not
white people
true.
are so violent and bad, why are black people moving out of their own communities to live amongst white people?
So
Why
again,
are they doing
right?
that? If we see them as such racists and so bad, we will want to get away from these people. Why would you live around someone who you see as racist, who is undermining you? Black people don't even want to live around
So
themselves,
again,
man.
right?
So
What
we
we're
gotta stop
doing,
the denial, man.
we're
You're in denial,
conflating.
bro. And that's why black folks is fighting over the
Let me
same
know when you
issues
finish.
over and over again.
So again, we're conflating multiple conversations. I'm not talking about racist or none of that. I was dealing with crime.
We're not conflating anything.
Hold
You're
on, let me land.
lying to
Let me
our
land.
faces
Let me
and want
land.
us to believe you.
I'll let you finish. Let me land.
No, you didn't.
Right?
You're lying to our
If you
faces, and
look at
instead
the
of admitting, you
federal,
keep lying.
if
Bro,
you
you
look
take
at
a
the
long time to
federal,
land, bro.
You
if you
just
look
Yeah,
keep
at the
lying, and don't
federal
nobody want to
crime,
hear all that.
he here to waste
he's talking
time,
over me.
y'all.
I'm not getting a
Yeah,
chance
I'm
to
talking
speak.
over you because you gonna
Right.
stop lying.
No, I'm not lying, brother.
You're lying.
You're
We
just
asked you for
unaware.
evidence, and you couldn't provide it.
I could provide it. You
No, you
wouldn't
did.
shut
What's the
up.
name of the town? What's the name of the town in New
I
Mexico?
simply said New Mexico.
What is the
What
name
I
of the
said
town in New
was, let
Mexico?
me land. What I said was New Mexico has some of the highest
You
per
said a town
capita
in New Mexico.
violent crime rates.
Okay,
You
let me
said
read.
a
Let me let
town
me let
in
me
New
let
Hear
me
what I
read. Let me
Mexico.
said.
read
No,
this.
I didn't say nothing
Let
about
me
a
read
town.
this. Let me
I
read this.
said
Wow.
Let
New
me read this.
Mexico has
Jesus.
some of
Let me
the
read this.
highest
Let me
violent
read this.
per
Let me read
capita
this.
crime rates.
Let me
That's what I
read
said.
this. Let me read this to end the
Don't
debate,
change
please.
what I'm saying.
Alaska consistently ranks as the state with the highest violent crime rate
Thank
per
you.
capita,
Per capita.
followed closely by New Mexico
Thank
based
you.
on 2024
Thank
data,
you.
with rates significantly above the national average. Though the
Hoopty.
District of Columbia often leads overall crime statistics when included. Other
Thank you,
states with
brother.
high crime rates include Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, all Republican, by the way, while property crime leaders are 2023 in 2023
Thank you,
included
brother.
New Mexico, Washington, and Colorado.
Thank you, brother.
Top states for
I've
violent crime: Alaska, 724 per 100,000 residents. New Mexico, 717. Tennessee, 600. Arkansas, 7.
what's
Okay, and it
Chicago?
goes on. All right, there
What's
you go.
Chicago?
But it's by
To
state, though. This is by
compare
state. This is by
Chicago
state, not by
per
city.
capita to New Mexico, what is Chicago's
You
violent
think
crime
you
numbers?
think we are
It's
dumb. In
probably
I
New
like
think it's like
Mexico, most of their
20
crime is
maybe
something.
drug
60
related.
something. It's probably like 60
Arrested meth
something or
heads.
70
Thank you,
something
brother.
for
Listen,
Chicago.
bro,
So
all
you
we
Something
didn't
like
gotta
that.
do is
understand the
watch
point.
Locked Up. All we gotta do
The
is
thing
watch
is,
Locked Up
brother,
Raw, and their
Let me
majority
know
of
when
their
you
crime
finish
is
yeah,
drug
so I can cook
addicts.
you.
yeah. Watch
The
TV.
majority
That's
of their
right. That's
crime is
right. Yeah.
drug addicts, not murders,
No, what you need to do is read.
not
Yeah.
Sir, we are
robberies.
specifically talking about violent crimes.
We're talking about violent crime in
Correct.
Tennessee, Memphis, You won't even give us the city in New Mexico. You're comparing a whole state to a city, Memphis,
No, I'm
Tennessee.
not, sir.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are,
you
because you still
compared New
haven't told us the
Mexico to
city.
Chicago.
You still haven't told us the city.
So
New
wait.
Mexico was the
So
state.
hold up. To the
Chicago is the
brother that made
city.
that last point, right? The reason why I'm comparing New Mexico directly to Chicago is the difference in population. When you look at the violent crimes in terms of the population, that's what per capita. What all you
Oh,
black
okay. Well,
Trump
hold on.
supporters,
No, I gotta stop you, Willie. You just said something. You said violent crime. So let's be specific now. Ja, rerun that because I was on the phone, so I caught the end of it, and specifically pull up violent crimes.
that's what he was talking about.
Was that okay? I missed it then. Okay.
Because I know that's the talking point. I've looked up these points. So, on a per capita level, in terms of violent crimes, what's going on in New Mexico is way worse
All right,
than
I'm gonna
what you
read it
will see in
again.
Chicago. The difference is the population,
I'm
right?
gonna read it again. Alaska consistently ranks as the state with the highest violent crime rate per capita,
Thank you. Who's
followed
number two?
closely by New Mexico
Bingo.
based on 2024 data, with rates significantly above the national average.
Okay,
Bingo.
Though,
okay. I'm glad I heard that. Can we back up
Bingo.
and no. It's not bingo. It's
That was
by
my point.
it's by no. It's by city. What's the do it? So the capital Alaska is Juneau, I think, or Anchorage.
They are talking about
The capital.
states. They're not talking about cities. When they say the violent crimes in Alaska, they're not talking about Anchorage,
Yeah,
right?
You were
no.
When
talking
they
about
say the
cities.
violent
You
No, we're
said a
talking
crimes,
about
city in New
no.
Mexico.
But that's
Hold
why
on,
we
stop,
said you.
no, stop. But we were talking about cities, not states. That's why we're asking which city are you talking about in New Mexico? We're talking about cities.
I'm talking about states. I
Well,
understand if
no. We're
you're
talking
talking
about
about.
we're talking about cities.
I
Chicago is
got
not
you.
a state,
I
brother.
got
It's
you.
a
But here's
city.
the point. Here's the point I'm making.
There's no
If
point. You're comparing
if you
states
were
to cities.
even to compare New Mexico to Illinois as a state, literally the numbers work even
We're not.
more
We're
in
not.
my.
We're not
Hear what I'm
comparing
saying?
states. We're comparing cities, Willie.
Hold on, let me
No,
make the
no,
point.
ain't no hold on, Willie. We're comparing cities.
Can I make
Dinus,
this
can I
quick
tell you?
point, Dinus?
There's
Dinus,
no point. We're comparing cities.
Dinus, can I tell you? Dinus, let me just point out something that this guy is trying to ignore. Washington, D.C. is not a state. But if you add it into the list with the states, Washington, D.C. has the highest violent crime rate over every state, including Alaska. This is all about what you're measuring
That is
by.
not true.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
Per capita?
Washington, D.C.
Per
per
capita?
capita has the highest violent crime rate. It's not a state, so it doesn't get included in that. So guess
Was
what? And guess where?
Washington,
Guess what's in
D.C.
Washington, D.C., Dinus? PG County, a bunch of black people over there.
Washington,
all right, I
D.C.
got some more numbers,
per
right?
capita.
I got some more numbers, right? From violent crime has been falling, right? That's the headline. It says there were 540 violent crimes per 100,000 in Chicago in 2024, according to Federal Bureau of FBI, right? So 540. So even if you compare Chicago, according to this number at least, to Alaska as a state, Chicago still in this
Uh,
number at least would be lower,
I'd like
and
to
lower than
Way
New
interject
low.
and
You
say
Mexico
a
can't
lot
and
compare a
of
Illinois.
city
violent
to a
crime
state,
You can't
was
goofball.
compare a city
reported
to a
in
state.
No, I
I
get
Chicago.
don't
you
know
guys'
why
point. I get you guys' point.
No,
I
you
just
can't
want to
compare a
say
city to
in
a
Washington,
state.
D.C. does
2024, a
not
lot of
have the
violent
highest
crimes
per
weren't
capita
reported.
violent crime rate in the United States. While its rate is high compared to national average, other large cities, several, have higher violent per capita rates.
Name the city. Name the city. That's all we asking you to do. Name the city. Stop naming states. Name the city.
All right, so I want to be clear, right? My point was there's no black people in New Mexico, so I don't know the
Oh
various
man,
cities. So hold on, let me land,
See, Will,
please.
you on some like
Dinus,
fast?
please.
See, Will, you on some like fast talking Chicago, New York, talking in
I'm not
circles,
talking fast.
disingenuous. Well, you know what I mean, figuratively. Like
Let
you,
me
that's what
just
you're on.
allow me
You're
to make
not
the point.
that. There's no point to be made. We're
There
talking
is a point
cities,
to be
Will.
made.
We're
I'm using
talking
federal
cities.
violent crime
I don't.
statistics.
But we're talking cities,
I
Willie.
get that. I get that. And we can drill down to the cities. I'm willing to do that.
You
But I
clearly
can
don't get
dive.
it. You're clearly
I
slow. Because we
Here's what
keep
I'm saying. Here's
we're
what I'm
comparing
saying.
city to city, and
Here's
you
what I'm
keep trying
He
to
saying.
compare
doing
a state
everything but
to a
saying the
city.
city.
You keep trying to
No.
compare a
In
state to a
terms of
city.
What I'm
homicide
saying is
rate per
if we compare the
100,000,
entire state of Illinois to New Mexico, it makes my point even
now he's
more
comparing
valid.
state to state, so now it's
I
more
was giving you
applicable.
the
Okay,
advantage
what
by
city in New
comparing it
Mexico
just
are you
to
gonna compare
Chicago.
to Chicago?
No, but now he's comparing state to state. So if he
Yeah,
says
but
if you
there's way
compare
more white
Illinois
people in
to
Illinois than
Alaska,
black people.
but the black
Worst
population is significant in
violent
Illinois, isn't it?
crime states
The
in
worst violent
New
crime
Mexico.
area in America is Washington, D.C. It's just not a state. So,
That's not
Diners,
true.
can you look at your WhatsApp? I just
That's
sent you the
not
Yeah,
list on
true.
WhatsApp.
I'm kind of tired of going in
And if you
circles.
want a city, Albuquerque.
We're comparing cities,
Albuquerque.
and he's talking
That's your
cities.
city.
Now he's
Albuquerque.
comparing
Albuquerque. Okay,
Illinois to
Violent
okay,
other
crimes
state.
in Albuquerque are at a way higher rate than Chicago. If you want to deal with cities.
okay.
See how simple
Illinois
that
has a
was?
black population of about 15%.
Right. We ain't even there. That's my point. So these crimes aren't necessarily a black thing. I can point to a city where we're not even really there. And when you compare that to the worst of black cities on a per capita level, it does not compare.
Okay, so you
This is
say
what you coons don't
Willie,
want
So
to
then
so
acknowledge.
let's just ignore black on black crime. Got it, man.
I'm
I
not
don't think
saying that,
anybody's
brother.
saying that. I don't really agree
Because
with
it's
this
just
whole debate.
proximity based.
I'm not saying that.
I don't even
Well, the
think it's
white
That's
based
man
on
exactly what
do it, we
y'all
should be
homicide.
saying.
able to do it
I
too.
am totally against black on black
At,
crime.
at,
Let's
at least we don't
purposely.
do
Don't
mass
make
shootings.
excuses, bro. The whole
I
culture
think
knows
black
black
on
on
black
black crime
crime
is
is
No, we
terrible.
treason.
not. You just over
At
here
least we don't do
defending it.
mass shootings.
Look at our music, bro.
I'm
Look at our
totally against
music
black
and
on
movies,
black crime.
bro.
I
Bro,
think
bro.
black on black crime is treason. When I
But bro,
sold drugs, I was a
our
Pan
culture talks
African
about
drug
how
dealer.
hard it is
I only
living in a
sold to
black
white people.
neighborhood in our music and movies, bro. It's in our music and movies.
I
It comes
got you.
out of that, man.
I
That's how
got you.
bad it is.
I got you. And I don't disagree with that, brother. I do agree that that's an area that we need to clean up. But what I'm saying is, when we try to demonize
Okay,
black
let's get to how
communities,
we gonna clean
I'm
it up.
Are we gonna
All
talk
saying,
the
about
extra
I'm
movies like
saying
The
necessary.
on the
Godfather,
same
Sons of
per capita
Anarchy,
level that these
Breaking Bad? What kind of
coons will
movies we
run
talking about?
to, talking about per
Diners,
capita,
diners.
compare
This is where the
Albuquerque
conversations.
to Chicago
This is where the
per capita.
conversation started. We talked about we
Right.
need to clean up the black neighborhood. This guy got so triggered, he started talking about white neighborhoods and oh, it's over
I don't
policing.
have no problem with cleaning up black
If we could
neighborhoods,
all
brother.
agree,
Man,
if
you
we
got
could all
white
agree
neighborhoods
that
where they
black
don't even
people,
lock their
if,
doors, bro.
if,
I don't know
if
not
we could
one
all
black
agree,
neighborhood where you can't lock your doors at night.
we could all agree that black people
Savannah,
have
Georgia.
a culture that glorifies crime. If a dude get out of jail, he gets more praise and celebration than a dude graduating from Harvard
See, this is
in
an
that
incel
community.
argument.
If the local drug dealer slash murderer
Right.
goes to prison, you got all the women in the men saying, "Oh, free
This
the
an
homie
incel
fast."
argument.
They got him on. Look, they got him. Listen, they want him out. They don't want him in jail for his crime.
Guess
No one's
what?
gonna tell on him or nothing like that. This is the type of cultural
Guess what?
things that
Same thing
lead to
is going
crime in
on
the
in
black
white
community.
communities. Same
All
thing
you
is
got to
going
do is
on in
watch.
white communities.
All you got to do is watch South Central.
All
OG
the
Bobby
January
Johnson.
6
He
people
Watch
became
South
an
pardon.
OG.
They
Central.
wanted them out of
Hey,
jail
This is
fast. All the
crazy.
January 6
OG
people
Bobby
pardon. They
Johnson.
wanted them out of jail fast. The Epstein files can't be repealed. Epstein got a deal
Thank
for
you.
Why are you
raping
bringing up
kids.
Jeffrey
Thank
Where
you.
Epstein?
Epstein
Because
got
we're
a
Why are you
talking
deal
about
bringing up
other
Jeffrey
crimes.
Epstein?
where he
So
could
you want
where
to deal with violent
where he
crimes?
could
Bro,
Let's
leave
deal
he's
with
only
crimes
bringing
where he
up
could
against
Jeffrey
leave
children.
Epstein because of
Who
jobs.
Trump,
leads the
bro.
Huh?
league?
This is
Who
all
He
leads
your
didn't
the
say
friend.
league
anything
in
about
crimes
Jeffrey
against
Epstein
children?
under Biden, bro.
Who
He's
leads
just
the
riding the
league
Epstein
in
wave because the
crimes
Trump
against
supporters were the
children?
one bringing
Is
it
it
up.
black people?
Yes, and now they
No.
want it released. I want it released too. Let it go. Let's release him. All of
Exactly.
them.
So let me ask you, why didn't y'all bring it up? Because the thing is, you
I've been
guys
trying
follow the
to.
Trump supporters.
It was
The Trump
being
supporters were the one
investigated
who ran
under
on it.
that administration.
Y'all are
Trump
Don't
was
let him
just
being
suck you in.
investigated
y'all
under
are
Trump
Don't
just
let him suck
bringing it
you in.
up
By the
just
way,
to
by the
attack
way,
Trump. It
by the
I'm
it
way,
is
it
simply
was
petty,
dealing with
by the
man.
way,
FBI
it
crime
was
Y'all
files.
just
I'm
want
showing.
to
not
see
dealing with
Trump in
Trump.
the
By the
Epstein
way,
I'm
files. That's
dealing
by
with
the
it.
white
way,
folks
That's
and
all y'all
black
by
want
the
to see is
folks.
way,
Trump,
I'm
man.
saying
by the
crimes
way, it
against
was
This is
children,
PDS
white
syndrome.
men lead the
by the
lead.
way,
Lead
Trump's
the lead.
Trump's labor secretary in his first
Talking
administration
about.
was the guy that
That's
gave
why he's
Epstein
talking
the
about
deal
Trump. They
that
just
he
want to
stayed
see
out
Trump
of
in the
that he stayed
Epstein
I'm
out of
not
files.
talking
They
prison,
about Trump.
don't
and
they
had to
don't give a
resign
damn
for it.
about no pedophiles.
I'm
They
talking
No,
just want
about
to see Trump.
pedophilia and
my point of bringing
molestation.
it up is you guys are talking
White
about
men
crimes,
lead the
but you don't
league
care
in
about
that.
no crime when it deals with someone that has more power. You
Thank
talking
you.
about crime, but you ain't serious. That's what I'm
Facts.
saying.
Facts,
If you're
bro.
going to talk about crime, talk about all crime. This brother already said he's against black on black crime. It's bad. He's even
Thank you,
said
brother.
what he did was bad in his own life. He's taking responsibility. What I'm asking
He's
you
not
is
taking
to do now is take
responsibility.
responsibility
Well,
for
He's
no,
not
I was
taking
a
the
people that
pan-African
responsibility.
support.
drug dealer. I
He's
only sold
making
to white people.
excuses.
I want to be
He's
clear.
No
I
taking
matter
only
which
sold to
way
white
you
responsibility.
people.
listen,
You're making
listen.
excuses
No,
because you're
no
not
matter,
calling for the release of
no
Epstein
matter
files.
how you
You're not saying
shake
that
it,
Epstein got a
no
sweetheart
matter
deal.
how you shake it, you are safer in
Brandon,
the
you're a
number
hypocrite,
one most
bro.
racist town in America.
You're a
You can go
hypocrite,
to the
bro.
listen. You
You're
can
a
go
fool
to
if you
the
believe that.
hey Dinus. You can go to the hometown of the
Brandon,
and
on
be
your Obama
safer
phone.
Look at
than
the
you.
Most High.
Brandon. Your phone, bro.
Look at the
Obama
Orishas.
phone.
Brandon, you need to travel more, bro.
Look at the Most High. Right? And to his point that I heard, no. If you compare crime in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you are safer in Chicago. That's a fact. Look at the
That's a
numbers.
lie.
So what are
That's a
the
New
lie.
numbers?
Mexico only got
So wait.
2.1
Let's
million
walk
people.
that down slowly. Let's per
No, we
capita,
don't have to,
right?
dude. You're not the host. Stop trying to let's walk stuff down.
All
You
right, if
can
you're
go to
gonna
the home
run.
state. You could
If you're
go to
gonna
the
run.
hometown.
But
You
I
can
know
go
I'm
to the
not the host.
hometown. Listen, you can go to the
If
hometown of the Grand Dragon of the KKK, and you will be safer there than
I said
any black
Albuquerque,
community in
New
America.
Mexico, where
Listen,
black people are maybe
you just said
15%
there's no black people
per
there, so why you keep bringing it
capita,
up?
Albuquerque, New Mexico has higher violent crime rates than Chicago. That's a fact.
Oh,
You
black got higher
coons
violent
only
rate
want to
than
look at black
Albuquerque,
crime.
New Mexico. I can do what you're doing too.
Goofy.
They don't have
I
a
can't
higher crime
believe
rate than
this guy,
Washington,
man.
D.C. They don't have a higher
Yes.
crime rate than Washington, D.C.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Goofy.
Look it up.
You want me to? I already did. You want me to read it
No,
to
you
you?
didn't.
No. Hold on.
Dinus, look it up.
Hey, Willie, post a link in the private chat, and
I
I'll
got you.
share the screen,
I got
or
you.
share your screen, or share your screen.
I'm posting literally what I Google searched, right? I hope it gives you the link. But it literally tells you no, DC isn't half as bad as he's trying to make it, right? It literally, when you do that simple Google search that I just dropped in the back chat, it gives you cities that have way higher crime rates than DC. DC ain't even really on the map.
Willie, I said post the link, not the Google.
My bad.
Post the link.
All right, let me hit one of these links. I got you. Let's just deal with the.
And Dinus, we found out that the police chief of D.C. was cooking the books. She was underreporting a crime.
Hold on, Willie. That's a fact. Now that
Well,
was
that
the
was the same thing in Chicago. It was kind of like
Willie.
all across
That's
the
a
board.
fact.
That the
Yeah.
black
She was cooking the
police
books,
chief
bro.
was underreporting crimes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a fact. That
Washington
was
D.C.
covered.
police chief was forcing the detectives and stuff to lie
So,
about the crimes.
so my response to that would be when we know that in these same black cities, right, the federal government recognizes these black cities have way more stops, right, than white cities, right? So I would argue way more crime is going on in these white cities. They just don't even get stopped. That's the real issue.
This
And
man know
so
he's lying, Dynas.
it's because you love that white
The
man.
people
I think
committing
the white
crime
man is
in
all right
New
too.
Mexico are Mexicans.
I just don't love him as
The
much as
people
you.
committing crime in New Mexico are Mexicans.
Look at the Most High.
Brandon, you're
Look at
Brandon,
the Most High.
yeah, Brandon, you're retro, man.
Look at the Orishas, Dynas.
All right, guys, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
All right, we're back.
Abaragani.
All right, Brandon's gone. So we'll start closing out. Shoot, let me read some of these chats. He's glitching. Nobody under report like white neighborhoods. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror Search for Haru. Peace.
Peace.